Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our John Deere Farm. I'll go ahead and say Happy Halloween overnight, and this is going to be Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas, and probably even Happy New Year, all in this episode here. We are going to probably not do a lot of field work. If that's what you're looking for, check out the last 2 or 3 episodes. We have a few very simple but important tasks. One, to maintain both are to maintain livestock, but check out our pigs here. We have 12, 16, 20 pigs. 20 pigs. They are doing just dandy. Getting a bunch of slurry there. Are we going to have a new batch soon? They're at 75. Yeah. A couple, these batches are little ones, still getting older. 2 and 3 months. And then we've got 3 batches that are creating more for us, so they're going to multiply rapidly. Then we'll get to a certain point that we'll pay attention to this number, because I don't know how big they can get, but I want to say it's somewhere around like $1,100 or $1,200 is where they kind of peak. And when they get there, we'll start selling them off, because we'll have young ones coming up. We also want to check out the cows. So as you can see here, we're at 11,600. So we'll go ahead and top that off. Well, not top it off, but we'll go ahead and make another batch of TMR. The slurry is full, but I filled up our tank, so there's not much else we can do for that. And these are the ones out in the field. They're the little ones, the calves. I don't know at what point a calf becomes a heifer. I guess when they're old enough to then become a cow, if nature runs its course. So they're getting there. But we have them on hay and grass. They have 16,000 liters. That's plenty for 20 cows. So I'm not worried about them. We'll make this batch of TMR, and then we'll probably go ahead and simulate to the next day. I'm going to work on these in this batch, because I want to get those cleared out. I tried to push them over, and they're so heavy, and I didn't want to stab them and move them. So that's what we'll be working on this episode. If you didn't see the last one, I built this shed over here for our haying equipment, and I put some dirt tracks in here because we work in this area so much making our TMR that it kind of felt like I should represent that and not have it be, perfect ground. Hope that's hunky-dory with everybody. One of the things that I've talked about a few times now that we have... Oh, okay, that's good. Now that we have $105,000 in our bank is the possibility of getting a different mixer. So let's go ahead and price those while we're here. Animals. So... here's this. So we are running this Schumacher, I believe. Is it the 2 wheels? No. Okay, try again. We are running this little Schultemacher maker, which has, that much capacity. 12,000 liters, I guess that is. And this one would be 18. So we have the money to do that. 18 would be nice. Just kind of boost it a little bit. I don't know that these really look any more vintage. They just kind of look like a different brand. If anybody knows of a proper vintage mixer, I know that there were Kuhn mixers in the United States for 40, 50 years, but I haven't seen them in FS. The one that's in the base game, this guy right here, is new, but there were Kuhn Knight mixer wagons like a long time ago. So if somebody knows of one of those, I would 100% get it. for this series and probably other playthroughs, but I just haven't seen one. Camera does not like when I work in here. I'm gonna go a little bit higher, so it'll make it easier to put it in there. Make sure, because we only want to put in 2,000 liters of straw. We need to be mindful of the ratio. And that's probably pretty good. Then for the next batch, we can just use this bale. That'll be easier. We'll keep it over here so I remember. Now, we'll grab one of these bales of hay. See, this is why, I don't know how many batches, but we won't run out of hay, but we'll need hay come next summer. It'll be good. I think I'm gonna make one full, like do the whole field all in hay, and maybe do a second cut for silage. But we'll do one full massive, like however many bales that'll be. 50 bales, something crazy like that. It'll be a lot, and that'll be fun. Because some of you may follow the channel community tab, where I kind of I ask questions about what to do next, but I also give a little bit of a sneak peek as to kind of what I have planned, and so you guys would keep that in mind. Oh, I forgot to get the other tractors going. Sorry about that. This is our big fella that we got 2 episodes ago. Sheesh. The turning radius on this thing. I blame the tires, honestly. The tires. Are you kidding me? Bro, how hard is it to back up a chisel plow? I feel like this is a job, I've said this on this channel before, but I feel like this is a job that is definitely easier in real life than it is in the game, backing up simple implements. Okay, there you go. You can go, and then you can go, and you can go. Sorry about that. I was driving over here to dump this off, and I was like, wait a minute, they should be finishing that field. So I'm gonna have to do the same thing again in a few minutes, because we're gonna simulate the December. Really? I swear my channel's not always like this, guys. I swear. I'm not always the worst farmer known to man. It's because I'm rushing. I'm trying to get 3 months worth of progress done in one episode. If I was just like relaxing playing, it'd be different. So let me tell you why I want this in the feed, up in there. I want it in there because then as the feed comes out, it will chew up this bale. But it's not supposed to stick up so high that it hits across there. And probably if I was going slower, I would have noticed it and not had it crash, but I was talking and thinking about too many other things. No, camera, bro, you're killing me. Is that gonna hit? Oh, see? We're fine. I went slow, I paid attention, and it was fine. See, now it's gonna come. There it goes, disappeared. Cows look happy. Just making us milk that makes us money. They make the milk that makes the cheese that makes the cheese. So really, at the end of the day, this entire farm is designed to make me sausage and cheese. If that's not the ultimate fat guy flex, I don't know what is. Okay. So, how are we looking up here? Oh, that's a lot. That is a lot. Alright, that's not great. Let's go ahead and get to December. I'll restart those guys. We'll figure something else out to do. Appreciate the support that we've been getting on this this series in particular. Look at that. Snowy Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, I appreciate the support we've been getting on this series. It's been a lot of fun for me. All right, so we're up to 24 pigs, so we got some brandy new ones. So these 0-month-old pigs are from this batch. So what do they need most? I think I'm gonna let it keep going down. Once it gets down a bit, then we'll fill it. But now that we have 24 mouths to feed, it's gonna go faster. TMR's pretty good, but I'm gonna go ahead and make another batch. Before I do that, we're gonna get. Oh, they kept going. Let's go. Thank you. I really didn't think it was gonna do that. So we will pop one of these. I could, if I wanted to, make a batch with 2 silage bales and do one of the smaller hay bales. But I don't think we'll have a problem. I don't think we'll run out of hay before haymaking season next year. We have less of it, but not that much less of it. I feel like this setup with the 40/20 with the wheel weights on the back and the front loader on the front, like, this is so realistic for how a vintage John Deere farm would function. I don't know, I've been surprised. I thought there would be more critics of this farm. I thought more people would make fun of my lack of John Deere knowledge, and you know, who knows if it, put it this way, if you notice anything on this farm that you think is like does not fit at all, like it's way out of chronological order or something like that, leave a comment. I would love to know Because if it's something I can realistically and reasonably replace, I would do that for the sake of accuracy. We've talked before that this is probably, logical to say this is set like early to mid 90s. So you've got an old 4020, even the big tractor that I just added. I confirmed that it would have been around in the 90s because it was made in like late 80s, early 90s. So, but if you're sitting there thinking like, man, this guy doesn't know anything about John Deere or dairy farm, or farming, like, what an idiot. I'm always looking to improve and understand. Like, I'm not the most accurate, like, detailed. I would say, for my money, the most accurate and detailed farm sim player that I watch, at least somewhat regularly, is Kedark. Kedark uses precision farming and tons of detailed mods, and really tries to be accurate in that way. And I don't have that level of attention to detail. But and I know there are some other people that we're good, that have a focus on vintage, like I try to do. But if there are ways that I can improve, definitely let me know. I go back and forth about using things like I used on that old Case IH series, like the M and the H. I love those kind of tractors. There's a John Deere A that I thought about getting for this series, but it's like, what would I really do with it? The 710 barely gets used on this series because it's already too small. If I went back to an A, literally all I would do with it is probably rake. Which maybe that would be fun, just to have it for the visual representation of having a tractor that old. I don't know what you guys would think about that, but I don't know. Alrighty, let's hop in the Gator and go ahead and give them the rest of these 83 liters of potatoes. So for the folks that maybe haven't gotten to see the lay of the land here much, so we have that field over there that you saw the 3 plows in. We've got our pigs up here. We've got our tuber storage for our potatoes, spud storage. This huge field, that was a cornfield where we got our, like, I don't know, 90,000 liters of corn. And now this field, we cultivated half of it for some sorghum this past year. But it carries over to our warehouse. And if you're wondering why does a farm this size need a warehouse, it's complicated. It's a farming sim thing, I'll put it that way. There's a problem with this map that you get a daily or a monthly payment for doing nothing. And instead of having all that money billed for no apparent reason, one, I bought this warehouse to spend some of the money, and two, it simulates, for the purpose of kind of role play, this warehouse simulates that we're getting, $20,000 of a leasing fee every month for giving up a big chunk of our field to whatever company that is. Now we're going to ignore the absolute terrible terraforming that happened when I placed that there. This is, I think, the 3rd farm I made on this game ever. I mean, I've been playing it a while, and so I was not wise enough to flatten the ground myself, and it's just a mess. But anyways, our field extends down here, and I haven't decided yet. I keep going back and forth on what I'm gonna do with my crop rotation, or how many crops I'm gonna plant. I actually have been thinking I might just leave all of my arable fields unplanted and just let next summer completely be for this field, the hay field. We'll do, like I said, we'll do one crop, one time through of hay, and do another at least partial in silage. You can see some of last year's hay that didn't get baled up. And then this field up here was a grain crop first, and then was a potato crop. Really like the size of this field, and just I like the size and the orientation of it quite a bit. We have this little wooded area here. When I originally started the save, I thought we might do a bit of forestry, but I like it. I like leaving the trees. I mean, who knows realistically, a farm like this, like, would that be swampy ground? Would it be, muddy ground because it's down in this gully? It might be some of the most fertile ground in the whole property, or it could be soupy and not at all fun to farm. So, it's hard to say what it would actually be. But we've got these are our calves. I know they look full size because the game doesn't differentiate. That's one thing I hope happens in the next farm sim. Hope that they differentiate the size of the cattle. But we've got water up there for those cows. They do need water. The ones over in that barn don't. It's just so many little wrinkles that are the stereotypical, or not stereotypical, what should I say, the quintessential farming simulator way that we do things. But I'm gonna pop the gator back in the swamp here, and we're gonna go ahead and move to the new year and let our workers keep a working. Does the game have, like, in the calendar, does it tell you what year you're in? No, it's just the generic calendar. Does anybody remember? If you guys remember what year this would be in the save, leave me a comment, because I want to say we've definitely done 2 crop years. So we're coming into, like, I don't know. I think this will be like 2.5 years on the farm. It'll be 3 in August. Does that sound right? Let me know if you guys are better at keeping track of time than I am, which wouldn't be saying much. All right, wow, we got 40 grand overnight for that property. I thought it was only 20. Okay, so let's check and make sure these guys are working. They are. Alright, these two will meet soonish, I hope. The low guy's doing pretty well. Great demand at the fast food restaurant. Oh, I want to check and make sure they all have fuel. He's good on fuel. He's great on fuel. And he is getting low on fuel. Alright, let's try to remember that. Everybody make a mental note. We need to fuel up 4440. What a nice tractor. Isn't that a nice tractor? It's awfully close though. How about that? That feels good. What a beautiful tractor. You're doing good. I would say maybe not a tank top in January. Probably gonna want a hoodie. That'd be another thing they could definitely coordinate in the next game. Clothes befitting the season. Let's get back down here. Take a look at our animal status. Oh, we got more pigs. Let's go. So we're at 20. Oh, more than that. We had 8 babies born. So these ones are at 970. Okay. Very nice. Starting to get making a little progress there on the food. And they're halfway. So I don't remember what the capacity is for that cow barn. Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. This is cheating a little bit. So I want building animals, cows. Was it that size? Yeah. Yeah, surely I wouldn't have paid for those. Oh, interesting. But this guy, 45 cows. So we are sitting at, yeah. So do I want 10 more? Or maybe 5 more? Or do I bring all 20 and sell some of these? Because they're about to give birth. And we're going to have... Yeah, well, how was it going to do that? I think it'll only give me 10. Hmm. You know what I think I might do? I think I might sell these. I think I'm going to sell these 5. So then when these reproduce, they'll make 20. So then when these 20 are ready to make milk, oh man. I don't know. I'll think about that before the next episode. But for now, I think I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Thank you so much for checking out the episode, for supporting the channel, for supporting the farm. This has been Bluebelly Farms John Deere on Backroads County. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.